Hello and welcome to another automation challenge where today the challenge is, or competition is, to build a sort of 50s light sports car kit car thing. So sort of build something that would probably be sold in a kit that you'd assemble yourself in a shed, and that's sort of the end goal there. So as a result, monocoque chassis are banned. Everything else is free game, but I'm gonna score points based on having a lower trim production, lower trim production unit here, and there will also be bonus points, obviously, for picking more realistic options that you would have seen on cars in 1955. The trim years are restricted to 1955 or earlier. So obviously, for realism reasons, you're more likely to want to go with a solid rear axle. Maybe leafs would be slightly more realistic. I'm not going to mark you down too much for having solid axle leafs, but it will pay to at least, pick some more sensible options. The engine, on the other hand, I'm getting some issues with torque, and I'm not using up all my octane. That's a problem. I'm gonna tweak my demo car on the fly here. Awesome. We'll just do that. It's fine. We can go quite a lot higher with the compression. And we're still having issues, but it's fine. The engine, obviously, you don't need to worry about being realistic too much. No? Okay. And that's just making a snog. It's fine. Right. Forget about tweaking it. Yeah, the engine will sort of assume it sort of comes separately with the car, but so sort of less sort of building and shed options are needed. But the rules are fairly relaxed on that. You just need to have a production unit below 35 and an engineering time below 25. So obviously I've gone inline 4 here, that's way under, so you could probably get away with a V8. It's just, do you really want to if you're on these not very grippy tyres? So yeah, that's something you've sort of got to battle, is horsepower, more than the production units themselves. Then it must run on 92 regular leaded. That's just sort of a probably would have been more normal at the time for, say, at least a British sports car. That's all the area that I'm aiming for, is sort of Lotus or other brands. Can you tell I'm not all too familiar with 1950s? I sort of understand the technology that was used at the time, but not so much the actual cars themselves. So yeah, I will do some extra research to make sure things are sort of period correct, but other than that, not really there. Meanwhile, for the trim itself, the only limitations I've said are the only things I've set are comfort minimum of 3. That's just so that you don't put a totally hardcore track setup on, since comfort isn't going to be scored for this, since it's not really relevant for a kit car, I don't think. So just sort of a minimum comfort to stop people going minus 15 on the interior, and a safety minimum of 8. Again, just to stop the minus 15 spam. But yeah, as you can see, I'm minus 4 on none, and that's fine with fiberglass panel. So yeah, there's still plenty of room there, although maybe you can shave off a bit more weight with aluminium. I'm not sure, but I'm trying to balance it in any ways I can. And then reliability minimum of 58, again, just so that you don't drop cooling airflow all the way, because I'm not going to be scoring any of these. Then production unit limit of 115. I think that's fairly reasonable, and an engineering time limit of 28. again, I'd say these are fairly reasonable. Obviously, you know, it does sort of stop you from going double wishbone front and rear with a space frame chassis, which would be absolutely OP in this. So I'm hoping it leads to some creative choices on the design part. Yeah, anyway, the scoring then. I will be scoring drivability on a scale of 1 to 10. Sportiness again on a scale of 1 to 10, just like last time. The best scoring car I get will score 10 points in these, and then obviously depending on how the others do relative to that, then they'll score less than 10. Then styling will also be a scale of 1 to 10, sort of something that looks fairly sporty for the time. I'm not expecting sort of extravagant chrome everywhere things. These are little kit cars, supposedly, although I'm not sure if that sort of coupe thing would really be that realistic for the time. May want to think about that. Convertibles are probably more realistic as a kit car, but yeah, styling is definitely something quite important, and sort of something period correct looking and has all the correct bits on it is definitely going to help. Top speed then, yeah, I'm going to be scoring based on top speed. I expect things to be a lot higher than this. It will only be scored on a scale of 1 to 5 though, so it's not too important, but you know, if you can squeeze out a couple of extra miles an hour, it's definitely definitely going to help you. Although on the other side is price, which is also scored on a scale of 1 to 5. Because yeah, well, I don't think price is too massively important. Obviously, I don't want things to be getting out of control, so you know, try and drop money where you can. Although I don't think these cars can be too expensive, with fairly cheap interiors and all the bare essentials stripped out. Then trim production units. The production units in trim will be scored on a scale of 1 to 10 because these are kit cars. You'll be building them in your shed. Ideally, you want less time to be spent building them. I know production units also account for like things like actually sort of producing the radio and like hand beating the body panels or whatever, but I'm sort of going to ignore that, and we'll just go with this. I haven't mirrored that fixture there. So yeah, obviously, if you can try and lower production units, could be a reason for using a ladder chassis. You never know, obviously. The idea of this is to sort of try and give people as many creative options as possible. I'm hoping for some nice variety here. Then for BeamNG, I will be scoring these cars on a scale of 1 to 10 in how they drive, and I'll also be doing a lap around the what's it called, the old racetrack circuit, I think is the name of it, in BeamNG, basically on the automation test track, the old circuit. So yeah, hopefully I've made everything clear. If not, there's a Google Docs link in the description which has all the rules written out, because it's painful to try and go through a video and listen to this. But yeah, obviously submit your cars on Discord. Link to that in the description, and name your cars 55 Light Sport, well, LS, and then your username, and yeah, that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll take part in this challenge. So yeah, goodbye.